All right. So basically where we're at now, so we got the timing chain off the Acadia, and we got all the parts that I'm going to change on the Acadia, on the engine. And before I put anything on, I'm just looking at everything here, and I have everything in order. So basically, if you go over here where the timing chain stuff is, I placed everything in the order it came out. Oh, those are the cam phasers, the intake or the exhaust, the intake. The third one is the intake, and the fourth one is the exhaust. So that's on the GM's left bank over to the right, and on the left side here, this is the right side, GM's right side, backwards directions. So I'm just going to go ahead, like I said before, I'm going to call that the back one and that the front one, so that we're all on the same page here, because GM likes to name left and right backwards because they don't know how to label left and right. They have a different meaning for left and right. And here's the chains. This is the back chain, the front chain, and then the main the lower chain, the one that goes on the crankshaft. And then the idlers, I got those in order too. So these are in order. Everything here is in the order that it came out of the engine. Here's the old tensioners. We have a whole new set of those. Those are the timing chain guides. I got a whole new set of those, and I put them in the order that they came out of the vehicle. So basically, I'll have to get all my parts and put them in an order that corresponds with the order that I took these out. And then this is the timing cover. As you can see, all this right here, this is a sign that it had been leaking from the main seal. So we're going to change that. And I also am going to replace these seals here for the camshaft solenoid, these things here, those things, the variable valve timing solenoids. So this one's the top, front, top, bottom, top, back, lower, bottom. So basically that one goes there in that hole. This lower one here goes in that hole. This one goes in that hole, and this one goes in that hole. That way, you know, it's easy to stay on track. Here's the water pump. And like I said, when I took this off, I put all the bolts back on the old water pump so that I don't mix them up and throw them in a bucket, and then we don't know where we're sitting there fidgeting and not knowing exactly what goes where. So I'm going to replace this water pump. But that water pump goes there, and there's a gasket that you need. So I need to scrape all this gasket material and install it with a new gasket. And then here's the tensioner. I have the bolts that came out of it. So I'm going to replace this here. I got a new one of these. And then I'll have to clean that cover on the back end. There's a gasket here. And we'll put part numbers. I have a part number for that. And we'll have to clean all this up, all this kind of sludgy stuff, like this gasket, RTV, that goes all the way around. They have it here, around here, and we got to clean all this off before we reinstall it. I'm also going to replace these sensors here. These are the camshaft. This one's for the exhaust on the back side. On the back side, this is the intake. So this exhaust, intake, exhaust. So exhaust, intake, exhaust. So I'm going to replace all four of these camshaft sensors. And but we're going to clean all this up. This right here, obviously, we were just talking about it. This is a sign that the main seal was leaking oil. That's why it's dark like this. So we're going to have to clean that up, replace that seal. We'll move over here to the valve covers. Valve covers don't look in terrible shape, but as you can tell, this one here that's darker with all this um, uh, build up here, this one's the one that goes on the back of the engine and against under the firewall. It's kind of hard to get to. And I believe this is the one with a PCV valve thing right here. So we're gonna have to clean all this up, clean up the little holes in that little valve, and replace this gasket. I got a whole new valve cover gasket for this. Same thing here on this one. We're gonna replace this valve cover gasket, replace these spark plug uh, seals here. We got them in a kit, and then over here to the left of that we have the motor mounts. This one's obviously that's bad. We have a new one of those. That's the harmonic balancer. That's the water pump pulley, and have the bolts in here so that we don't mix them up. So everything's exactly the way it came out. This is the power steering bracket that holds the power steering reservoir on. There's the motor mount here. So that goes on the engine. This is the crankshaft bolt. And these two right here, I labeled them. They're the power steering pump rear bolt timing cover. So this one goes on the timing cover, the one that you have to get under the car to get. And then this one actually holds the power steering pump on. So both are for the power steering. So I put them together like this so we don't get them mixed up. I think they're the same size, but yeah, they're the same size, but that's fine. We want to make sure we know where every single bolt goes. I'm also going to replace these little bolts here for the timing cover. They have a little rubber grommet, and we're going to replace all these little grommets on these timing covers, on the two of them. We're going to clean them up too while we're at it. This here is the upper intake manifold, and this is the throttle body here. And it has some sensors and other things like that. We're going to clean this up here, just kind of clean it up. Get some cleaner and get all this nice and clean. And then the rest of it, as you can see here, we have the filter box. Kind of clean that up too, get it nice and clean. Has dirt on it, debris, and then there's the splash guards and stuff. Some of the air filter assembly, the cover for the engine. Here's the fuse boxes. Those I'm going to try to clean them, but be very mindful that there's electronics and things in these things, so you don't want to spray these down. You can spray this down here because this is just a piece of plastic, but when it comes to the fuse box here, you don't want to spray this down right here. You do not want to spray any water, any chemicals, or anything in this. If you're going to clean it with a damp cloth, but do not use sprays or anything that can affect the electronics on that. Okay, it's on. Yeah, one thing I noticed about this water pump right here is that it looks like it had been replaced before, because I'm looking at this and it has RTB on here. You know, there's no gasket on there. They just put RTB. And right here on the cover, there's RTB. Like they put RTB and they put that water pump on there. And normally what you see on a GM, like they'll usually have a gasket. And we come over here to our new parts with our water pump. You will see that they either have this one. This is the one that comes with the water pump when you order it. And it's one of those construction paper type of gaskets. But the GM official gasket that you order from their website or from GM, and here's the part number. GM part number for the gasket for the water pump is 12660-159. And this one's a metal gasket with rubber there's like a rubber seal that they put around it versus this cheap one that they include. But if you look at this gasket here, the water pump here, they put RTV, and that's all they used. So that tells me that this has probably been replaced before. And this water pump is an AC Delco, and I'm looking at it, seeing if there's a difference between this one and this one here. This one has a little maple leaf here that's probably made in Canada. And in fact, I think there might be a difference. This ICD, look at that ICD there in the molding. And look at that one. It just says AC Delco with a sticker. So I'm almost wondering if this is a different part. But anyway, that was one of the differences I noticed with this this water pump here. So I ordered this little gasket here. This is part number 12690764. And this is that gasket that goes on this neck, this filler neck thing. So you would pull that gasket out and you would use that gasket there. That's the one that goes here, the one that's kind of oddly shaped. That's the part number there. So the O-ring for this neck, this round one here, so we already gave you the part number for that one, but the O-ring for this part of this filler neck is 12584040. 12584040. And they have it on the GM. You can get that from GM, or get that from one of those websites. And there's the diagram where it shows where that O-ring's at. So 21 is this one here, and 20 is the round one that goes around this side. Okay, here we go. So we laid out all the parts for the timing chain for what we're doing here. We got all our GM parts for this job where we're going to be replacing the timing chain on the Acadia 3.6 liter. And here are the parts and the part numbers. If you're just doing the timing chain, there's a GM part number here. The part number for this is 127000437. This kit includes the tensioners, the tensioner seals, the timing chains, left or right and left, and the lower one. And then it includes these seals here, 4 of them. The crankshaft seal, and this is the seal that goes behind the timing cover. These 4 seals go here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's your crankshaft seal. And if we flip it over, there's this seal here. And that seal is that one over there. And that's included in the kit. There's also a part number on there if you need just that seal. The timing chain guides, the lower guide, the part number for that is 12597417. And that's the lower one for the primary chain. The one on the back of the engine is a part number 12623514. And then the one on the back of the engine on the right side is a 12600462. And then on the right side of the engine, or on the front of the engine, we have the guide there, 12623513. And then on the front right side, we have the timing guide there. It's a 12600641. And then we will show the cam phasers. And there's a difference here. So this is the exhaust on the back of the engine, the intake on the back of the engine, the intake on the front of the engine, and the exhaust on the front of the engine. The two exhaust cam phasers, this guy and this guy here, are the two part numbers 12684832, and they're the same part number. They use the same cam phaser for the exhaust cam phaser. The intake on the back of the engine has an R because it's the right side with GM's backwards labeling. So with a backwards labeling of GM on the left side, which is the one under the firewall, the right side intake, the part number is 12684830. And then the one on the front of the engine, which is the left side with a backwards labeling on the engine, it has an L here. And you can tell the difference because there's an R and an L for right and left. And for the L, the part number for the intake is 12683831. Actually, that's 12684831 for the intake cam phaser on the front of the engine. And then if you look down here below, I have the chains in the way they came out of the vehicle, the back of the engine, the front of the engine, the lower main chain on the crankshaft, the idler sprocket, the other idler sprocket. And these are the new idler sprocket. I ordered this here, and this goes on the back of the engine, and that part number is 12612838 for this idler sprocket, and it comes with a bolt. The lower idler sprocket for the front of the engine, it also comes with a bolt, and the part number is 12612839, and I ordered that new also from GM. And then we have the lower sprocket that goes over the crankshaft from GM, and the part number for that is 12645465. Now the reason I'm ordering all these idler gears and all these cam phasers is because there might be wear here between the grooves, and this vehicle has 140,000 miles on it, so we don't want to put a new chain with worn out sprockets because that could cause us premature failure of the new parts. We also ordered the oil pumps for the engine. While we're in there, we're going to change this out. There was the old one here. It already comes with the timing guide here, so we don't have to worry about ordering that part. But this is a genuine GM oil pump, and it comes with the bolts. All the bolts come with the pump, and the part number for that is 12640448. So you'll also need that if you want to do this job and complete it and replace all the components in the timing system. And like I said, the part number for this kit here includes the chains, the gaskets, the tensioners. It does not include the timing guides. It just includes what you see right here. And the part number for that is 12700437. Okay. So this is the alternator. We're replacing this too because at least my mindset is I want to replace it because it's a pain to get this out. And rather than putting this all back together and then sometime down the road I have to pull half the engine apart to get it out because GM's great engineering decided to make it hard to replace. I'm gonna replace it now with a brand new genuine AC Delco GM, and it looks like it's made by Denso according to the sticker. This is the original one here. It shows Denso there, and this is the new one, and it also shows it's made from Denso. And I swapped over the back cover because the new one came in this box and it kind of got banged up during shipping. So I'm gonna change over just the back cover here, and that way we can have this all nice and complete. I'll clean that up before I install it. And then here's the idler, and as you can tell I assembled everything back the way it came off the vehicle so that it makes it easier to remember exactly where things go. And this idler here, I'm going to spin it and you're going to hear a sound. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a grinding sound in there. Feels gritty, and it feels kind of loose, like it freewheels. So I went ahead and ordered a new one of those idler pulleys, and they come as an assembly when you order it from GM. It comes with the bolt and the little spacers and this little bushing spacer with that little plastic insert thing, and that slides over the bolt all like this. And the part number for that is 1261068. 1261068 for the idler pulley right here. So that's going to be what I'm going to be installing on the car. I'm going to be replacing the alternator while I'm in there. And I noticed it has this clutch. Now I don't know what this is here. I don't know if this is new, but it has this clutch here. So it's like there's a bearing in here on the outside. It looks like it's one of those one-way bearing thing. I try to spin it the other way and it locks. It's like it only spins one way. So I'm guessing this is like an idler. But I noticed that when I spin it and I put something here in the motor to keep it from spinning, I can hear the bearing. I can hear a noise coming off the bearing. So I think the bearing's going bad on there. And on this one, I'll put something here to stop the motor from turning on the inside. And this, it's quiet. It doesn't have any bearing sound. So I think the idler is bad on this alternator here. But it still works. So, but we're still going to replace it just because it's such a pain to remove and replace it.